The attack happened here early Sunday morning. 27-year-old Seth Rich, seen here in his LinkedIn profile picture, murdered as he walked in a neighborhood he called home.
Seth Rich was shot twice in the back in what police said looked like a botched robbery. He was taken to hospital but died 2 hours later, just one of 139 murders in the DC area last year. Still, the death of somebody linked to Hillary Clinton's campaign was enough to set the internet alight with theories about what might have really happened. In August, WikiLeaks offered a $20,000 reward, and then on Dutch television, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange suggested that Rich was his source for the Democrats' emails.
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States.
And there goes the internet. Hillary personally had Seth killed for being the leaker, just like she did with all those others she supposedly had murdered in the 1990s. But it all stayed in conspiracy world until last week on a local Fox News station.
New information from the family's private investigator suggests there is tangible evidence on Seth Rich's laptop that confirms he was communicating with WikiLeaks prior to his death. Now, the question is, why has D.C. police, as the lead agency on the investigation for the past 10 months, insisted this was a botched robbery when till this day there is no evidence to suggest that?
So, contradicting the police, Fox says there's no evidence it was a robbery gone wrong. Their source, a former DC homicide detective turned private investigator and Fox News contributor named Rod Wheeler, who says there's proof Seth Rich leaked to WikiLeaks right there on Rich's laptop computer.
I believe that the answer to solving his death lies on that computer, which I believe is either at the police department or either at the FBI. I've been told both.
But you have sources at the FBI saying that there is information...
For sure. Wheeler says there is evidence of email exchanges between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks, and Fox went on to claim that Rich's computer showed more than 44,000 DNC emails and 17,000 attachments sent to somebody linked to WikiLeaks. Former Republican Speaker Newt Gingrich took to the air to ask why the Russia investigation was continuing at all, while this huge story about Seth Rich's assassination was being ignored.
We have this very strange story now of this young man who worked for the Democratic National Committee who apparently was assassinated at 4 in the morning.
And Sean Hannity talked it up all week.
Welcome back to Hannity. So more on the story of murdered Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich.
Shadowy New Zealand internet entrepreneur Kim.com weighed in on Twitter, claiming to have known Seth Rich and saying Seth was the source for WikiLeaks.
Okay, let's get into this. First, to Russia. They've been implicated in 3 Democrat email hackings, not 1. So even if Seth Rich was responsible for the DNC leaks, what about the DCCC leaks? What about the most important ones, the Podesta leaks? There are Russian fingerprints on all of these, according to the US intelligence services. As for those emails that were on Seth Rich's computer uncovered by the FBI says that's false. They're not investigating the killing and they haven't seen Rich's computer.
And this is what Wheeler has since said about that computer.
I have never seen the emails myself directly. I haven't even seen the computer that Seth Rich used.
So it all comes down to this federal investigator who Wheeler hasn't named. He also claimed that DC police had been warned off the case, but a department spokesman has denied that. The deputy mayor says there is no evidence of any link between Rich and WikiLeaks.
PolitiFact unsurprisingly rated Newt Gingrich's claim as pants on fire, as in liar, liar. I mean, what exactly is Hillary's motive for risking her entire presidential campaign to have Seth Rich murdered? Just because she's angry? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Fox News has also retracted their story, at least the online version, and out of respect for Seth Rich's family, who, by the way, are so appalled by this conspiracy theory, they wrote this column. Even Hannity has said he'll back off.
Out of respect for the family's wishes for now, I am not discussing this matter at this time.
That was for about 5 seconds before he tweeted that he is closer than ever and for people to stay tuned. So, a story based on a single unnamed, unverified source from an agency that's not investigating the murder ran rampant for a couple of weeks, fanned by Fox News' finest and probably a desperation to not talk about James Comey.
So here is the bottom line. We don't know who killed Seth Rich or why they did it. People who want to believe it was payback by Hillary Clinton for leaking to Julian Assange, letting Russia off the hook in the process, don't care that there is no evidence to support that theory. They still think that she killed Vince Foster and probably has the 87-year-old Lindbergh baby locked in a basement. But journalists and responsible commentators on a network with news in its title should care about facts.
Look, maybe we should just give Sean Hannig the final word here, John.
Sure.
Sean, in the spirit of fake news and selective editing, how would you describe the Seth Rich story?
Tinfoil hat conspiracy theory.
And that's the least fake thing that Sean has said for quite some time.